I want to talk about something that I experienced in my life that I didn't really even realize that I had experienced in my life until this past couple of weeks. I remember as a child, my mother used to tell me that people were jealous of me. Okay. And she had convinced me that this advice, or whatever you want to call it, came from a place of love, that she was trying to protect me. She was my mother, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize until now that she was actually telling on herself every time. That she had, in fact, been jealous of me since I was a small child. She was jealous that my dad loved me so much. And they ended up divorcing when I was probably in about second grade, third grade. And she was jealous that I looked like my biological mother. I looked just like my biological mother. And my biological mother is beautiful. I'm beautiful. And I'm not saying my adopted mother wasn't beautiful, but it's jealousy is an irrational thing, right? A beautiful woman will be jealous of other beautiful women, and it doesn't make sense. It's irrational, right? She was jealous of my gifts because she knew I had them. And how I started to realize this was I was thinking back on my childhood and my experiences and trying to figure out what messages I can take out of it that apply to this radical self-love that I am trying to push on all of you, right? And I remember her taking things from me. Little things here and there. It would be things like she cut my hair. My hair was this short until I was around 12, when she finally allowed me to grow it out. And of course, that came with stipulations, you better have hair like this and do your hair like this and take care of it like this, otherwise I'm cutting it off. Because she was jealous, right? Because my hair was thick and straight and hers is thin and curly. I'll tell you right now, my hair ain't straight. And I always knew that my hair was curly, and it is a bit curly. It's like wavy to curly. And little comments like, I would say, my hair is curly, and she would go, your hair is not curly. My hair is curly. Sorry? And this is what I'm talking about. Looking back on my childhood, I didn't even realize that these things were happening. And I remember seeing a video earlier today about jealous mothers who were jealous of their daughters, and the ways in which, scrolling through the comments, the ways in which mothers show it in different ways. And sometimes it's so covert that you do believe that it comes from a place of love, but the behavior, it's not right. We just don't know that because we're conditioned to believe it is, right? Conditioned to believe that this type of abuse is okay, and conditioned not to look at it critically, because otherwise we will find out what they're covertly doing, right? I remember her, I believe that she stood in the way of my seeing my dad a lot, but that I can't really blame her for, because my dad was an alcoholic. But I think that she was happy to do it because it was something she could take away from me. A person who loved me for who I was, the only person in my family who did. birthday money. That was a big one. I remember getting birthday money a couple of times, but one time in particular, I remember my aunt giving me money for my birthday. We were still living in the first house that we were living in when I was first adopted. And we were sitting on the steps and my aunt gave me money for my birthday. And my mom took it out of my hand. And I, that childlike, why are you taking that from me? That's mine. That was a gift for me. This'll come in handy. And I remember a few times questioning her on it. I remember one time in particular questioning her on it, saying, that's my birthday money. I want to keep it. No, you'll just spend it on something stupid. I'll hold on to it for you. Never saw it again. And then I remember questioning her as a child. Where's that birthday money? Well, I provide food and that's how she used to speak to me as a child. If I dared question her, right? I know all you who know what I'm saying, who have the same childhood, I know you know what I'm talking about, that tone. Who the hell are you to question me? I'll tell you who I am. Sovereign. Gifted. Chosen. Who are you? Who are you to take from a child? Right? So what I took from kind of putting together this puzzle and realizing that a lot of the abuse that I suffered was because my own mother, was jealous of me as a child for things that came naturally to me that I couldn't help. And I tried to. How many times I tried in my life to make myself ugly? How many times I tried in my life to make myself undesirable to everyone? To fit into this role of who she needed me to be so that she could swoop in, take my place, and pretend to be who she knew I really was. So that she could gain the adoration, the respect, the love that I am supposed to have in my life. That's my path. She wanted to take it. And when you have somebody who you depend on for love, for lessons, for support, for safety, for security, and that person is stealing from you, stealing money, stealing self-worth, stealing confidence, it's so debilitating that we end up hating ourselves the way that they want us to. We end up, jumping the train to our destiny. You know what I mean? We end up abandoning our true path because this person is supposed to love us, so they must be right. And I just want you all to realize they're not. And while you may not see any type of tangible retribution for this treatment, I guarantee you that loving yourself, radically loving yourself through all of your flaws, all of your, mistakes, everything, just being human, loving yourself through being a human being, that's retribution enough. And you will realize once you love yourself that you don't need revenge. You don't need anybody to suffer, to feel like everything worked out in your favor. Everything worked out in my favor because I love myself despite the hate, like I've said before, that was thrust upon me since I was a child. these jealous parents, they will tell you that people are good for you, or people who are good for you are jealous of you. And it's not that they want you to stay away from those people and protect you. They don't want you to have the support that they know you might get from that person. My older sister, I have two older sisters. Sorry, I don't know what was going on there. I have two older sisters. One of those older sisters, who is nearest in age to me, I remembered from before I was adopted. I don't have a lot of memory from before I was adopted, but I remembered her, and I loved her always. And my mother made a point to take a picture of that sister and my biological mother and tell me, look, you don't fit in there. Look at, and she pointed to my mom. She said, you don't even look like her. I look exactly like her. And your sister, she's jealous of you because you got adopted and she didn't. I talked to my sister. I developed a relationship with this specific sister in adulthood. And she is trying to heal. She's making her way through a much more traumatic life than I've had. And I'm proud of her. While I am not really in contact with her now, I love her so much. And I told her about this. I told her, I said, well, my mom told me when I was little that you were jealous of me and that you hated me. She's like, what? The profanity that came just flying out of her mouth. She was big mad. She always loved me. And she always wondered where I was. And she always wondered if she'd ever see me again. You know what I mean? Just like I did. Don't buy into an abuser's bullshit. Don't buy into anyone trying to tell you that there is any reason for you not to love yourself. Do it. Screw them. I love you.